Hey you guys, this is Jaden here, and oh my god, the lighting is bad. Hold on. There we go. Okay, so yeah, hey you guys, this is Jaden here, and tonight in this video, I'll be comparing Dragon Ball Z Budokai Tenkaichi 2 to Dragon Ball Z Budokai Tenkaichi 3, and see which game I did better, I like more. Okay. So I just done this video, I just got done recording this video, but I felt like remaking it because I felt like it might have dragged on a little too long. And yeah, plus, I feel like it might have dragged on a little too long, and I feel like I can make a shorter and better version of this comparison. So yeah, which game do I like more between Tenkaichi's 2 and 3? Oh no. Well, let's find out. I really like both games. I love both games. I grew up with both of them, and they're both easily some of my favorite Dragon Ball games, if not my two favorite Dragon Ball games of all time from what I've played. Yeah, I love both of these games a lot. I think they're both great. Yeah, and here's a comparison to Tenkaichi's 2 and 3 to see which game I prefer. Okay, so let's get this down. The first category, story. Simply, I'm gonna give this one to Tenkaichi 2 because while Tenkaichi 3 does cover some stuff that Tenkaichi 2 didn't in its story mode, I think Tenkaichi 2 has a better story mode because it's more in depth and it's a lot longer than Tenkaichi 3 story mode, and I think it's overall more fun to play. So yeah, I mean, there's some things that Tenkaichi 3 story mode does better than Tenkaichi 2's, one of them being the fact that characters actually talk during battle. But still, I think Tenkaichi 2's is better because it's longer, it's more in-depth, and, more enjoyable. So yeah, first round goes to Tenkaichi 2. Next up, soundtrack. Now, this is a close one. I think the soundtracks to both games are great. Both games have great soundtracks, but yeah, I think I've always preferred the soundtrack in Tenkaichi 2 over the soundtrack to Tenkaichi 3. I'm not saying Tenkaichi 3 is a bad soundtrack. No, Tenkaichi 3 is a great soundtrack too. But I always prefer the soundtrack in Tenkaichi 2. Like, it feels... I mean, admittedly, it might not fit Dragon Ball as well as Tenkaichi 3's soundtrack does, but so I find the soundtrack to be more emotional. There's, more feeling to it. There's more heart to it. And, it better helps put me in the mood overall. So, yeah, Tenkaichi 2 wins in terms of soundtrack. Okay, next category to cover. Character roster. Isn't it obvious which one of these is better? 3 obviously takes the cake here. Yeah, both games have a lot of characters in them, and, have some of the biggest rosters in any Dragon Ball game ever, but 3 obviously takes the win here. It has a lot more characters than 2, despite the fact that 2 has a lot of characters too, but 3 wins here. So yeah, 3 wins here. Right now the score is 2-1. Alright, moving on. Next category to cover. Costumes. Now, again, like how Tenkaichi 3 has more characters, it also has more costumes. But to be honest, I'm gonna... okay, this might sound crazy, but I'm gonna give this round a 2. Now, yes, I know this might sound crazy, but I want to give the round a 2. Why am I giving this round a 2 instead of 3? Well, simple. Like I just said. Yes, it is true that 3 has more costumes, and it does take most of the costumes that 2 had, and adds more. But, you see, the thing is, there's some cool power, I think there's some cool palette swap costumes that were in 2, that weren't in 3, like Tien Chaozu, Rakumen Brawly. It makes sense why Tenkaichi 3 got rid of their palette swap costumes, but still, I like all their palette swap costumes, and they're missing in 3. Yeah, and Android 17 also has a palette swap costume that's missing in 3 too. And, I also like, okay, so how, back in the top, let's get back into the topic of character roster. Okay, so how I said that, how in Tenkaichi 3 there's, multiple versions of Goku, there's Goku early, mid, and end? Well... yeah, Tenkaichi 2, it takes, all those, mixes them up, and puts them all into one Goku. Yeah, meaning that, there's not, as many Gokus there, and, that means you could play as, Super Saiyan Goku, as Super Saiyan 1, 2, and 3 Gokus, and, outfits that Goku wore before he extended to those Super Saiyan transformations, so that's cool. So, yeah, I think cool stuff like that gives 2 the edge over 3. They're both really strong in this category, but 2 wins here, so yeah. So, yeah, 2 wins, and right now the score is 3-1. Next category, customization. To keep this short, while I do honestly find it easier to boost the character's health in Tenkaichi 2 than in Tenkaichi 3, I'm still going to give this one to Tenkaichi 3 because with the customization, you have more stuff to do, and you have more than just one setup with the characters. Like, in Tenkaichi 2, you have a setup for one character each. You have one setup for each character each, whereas in Tenkaichi 3, each character has at least 3 steps to pick from, so that's cool. And there's more stuff to do, so yeah, to keep the short, Tenkaichi 3 wins here, and right now the score is 3-2. Next category, game modes. What game modes do these games have apart from story mode versus and all that? Well, will both have tournament mode, which are both pretty fun, although I honestly do prefer the tournament mode in Tenkaichi 2 than in 3, even though Tenkaichi 3 has a couple more tournaments to pick from. I like tournament mode more in Tenkaichi 2 because, you know, it's a lot easier to get money from there, and this gives it more replay value for me. And yeah, both games also have a nice, cool mode where you get to create your own password characters, and you can create up to 10, so that's cool. Both games also have an ultimate battle mode thing, with Tenkaichi 3 having more to do in it. And yeah, and both games also have a mode where you get to study the characters and you'll read biographies and stuff on them. And both games have a nice mode where you get to sit down and listen to any song that's in the game. And yeah, and there's some cool new modes that Tenkaichi 3 added in. Like, for one, there's an online mode, and honestly I heard that the online mode for the Wii version is really bad and it's really laggy, but so there's the online mode for Tenkaichi 3, and if I'm correct, it's probably Tenkaichi 3 is probably the first Dragon Ball game ever to have an online mode, so that's cool. And Tenkaichi 3, there's also continuing on with the topic of the mode where you get to study the characters in both games. In Tenkaichi 3, you not only get to do that in that mode, but you also get to hear Chi-Chi's commentaries for each character, and I think that's cool and funny. So yeah, yada yada yada. So yeah, both games also have an option thing where you get to like adjust the sound, you know, change up how the sound works, how the camera works during fights. So yeah, all that stuff. So yeah, with the game modes, I'm gonna give this one to Tenkaichi 3 because it has more to do. There's more game modes. So yeah, the Tenkaichi 3 wins here. All right, so now the score is 3-3. What category do I want to be next? Controls. Now this simply goes to Tenkaichi 3, especially if we're talking about the Wii Remote Nunchuck controls. Now, granted, just so you guys know, this category is primarily for the Wii version because I've never played the PS2 version. Call me lame, but this category is primarily for the Wii version. But yeah, I'm gonna give this round to Tenkaichi 3 because the controls are easier to understand. You know, they're more simpler, and plus, like when you're playing with the Wii Remote Nunchuck, a big problem I have with the controls in Tenkaichi 2 is that when you're playing with the Wii Remote Nunchuck, there are times where your character would be stuck on block, and you know you'll have to point the Wii Remote at the sensor to get it to stop, and it can be really annoying. But you don't have to do that at all when playing Tenkaichi 3, so that's a plus. And plus, like, you know, actually, if you're playing with a classic controller, it actually explains to you what the classic controls are in Tenkaichi 3, unlike in Tenkaichi 2. Which, you know, if you try to read the classic controls for Tenkaichi 2, it'll just give you the Wii Remote Nunchuck controls, which is kind of dumb. But hey, I don't think it's too hard to get used to the game classic controller controls in Tenkaichi 2 if you're used to classic controller controls in Tenkaichi 3. Still, though, I think 3 has better, easier controls. So 3 takes the cake here, and now the score is 3-4. Ooh, 3's in the lead now. Will Tenkaichi 3 be able to keep its lead? Let's find out. Next category, Dragon Ball-ness. Now, for like the third time in a row, Tenkaichi 3 wins here. Because, yeah, well, both games do a good job with capturing the feel of Dragon Ball and being like, you know, the anime both games are based off of. Tenkaichi 3 wins here because there's some stuff that Tenkaichi 3 does more accurately than Tenkaichi 2's does. Like, for one, there's certain characters who have the correct ultimate instead of some generic ultimate that they didn't use in their respective anime, like Full Power Frieza and Cell Perfect. And plus, like with turning into a Great Ape, you actually have to have a character look at the moon, and you have to have a character transform into a Great Ape by looking at the moon, just like how it is in the anime. In Tenkaichi 2, you don't have to do that. You could literally just turn into a Great Ape by powering up, and that's definitely not how it works in Dragon Ball. And plus, you could absorb blast better in Tenkaichi 3 than in Tenkaichi 2. So yeah, Tenkaichi 3 wins here for the Dragon Ball in this category. And what's the score now? Like 3-5? Oh, Tenkaichi 2 better catch up. And it will catch up in this next category. Skill. 2 wins this one, because even though 3 is the sequel, and it did improve on the controls in my opinion, I think 2 has better skill into it. Because, you know, the computers are actually better in Tenkaichi 2 than they are in Tenkaichi 3. They do a better job with flying back at you in Tenkaichi 2 than they do in Tenkaichi 3. And, like, you know, there's certain story fights in Tenkaichi 2 that are way harder than like, probably any story fight in Tenkaichi 3. So, yeah, skill goes to Tenkaichi 2, and the score now is 4-5. Okay, Tenkaichi 2 is climbing back up there, and it's catching up, and we'll be able to beat 3. Let's find out. Next category, replay value. Which game has more replay value? Tenkaichi 2 does. I'm sorry, even though 3 has, even though 3 has more modes, more characters, more costumes, more tournaments, more things to do with customization, I for some reason just feel 2 has more replay value. I don't exactly know why, but I do, even though I think 2 is superior in terms of story, soundtrack, tournament, and costumes. I just, for some reason, feel there's more replay value in 2 than in 3. So yeah, it's all tied up. Oh, both games are all tied up. What can I do to break the tie? It's 5-5. What can I do to break the tie? Let me think about it. What category could be next? Oh, now here's the last category. Unlockables. Now by that, which game has more to unlock? Simple. Tenkaichi 2. And that's especially the case for the character roster, even though Tenkaichi 3 has more characters. But with Tenkaichi 3, you're literally handed most of the roster. You're handed like 80% of the roster. You still have a lot of characters to unlock. Yeah, it's a giant roster, of course. But you're still handed most of the roster. In Tenkaichi 2, it's pretty much the other way around. In Tenkaichi 2, you have in Tenkaichi 2, yes, you're still handed a lot of characters, yeah, but you don't. But most of them you have to unlock through the story mode and the Z item fusion thing and stuff. So yeah, unlockables, Tenkaichi 2, more unlockables, and yeah, unlockables are good for video games, because they give you more reason to play the game, and because they give you more reason to play the game and complete it. Play it for a long. They give you a good reason to play the game for a long period of time, I'd say. So yeah, Tenkaichi 2 wins this category, and looking back, maybe the unlockables thing is part of why I think Tenkaichi 2 has more replay value. So that's it. Tenkaichi 2 wins on the unlockables, and the score now is 6-5. And in conclusion, the winner is, okay, even though it's obvious, I'm still going to do the drum roll here. Tenkaichi 2. Yep, I'm sorry, but I like 2 more. I think there's more replay value with it. I think tournaments done better with it. I think the costumes are done better in Tenkaichi 2. Story mode, soundtrack, better Dragon Ball Z gaming experience. It's a very close thing. These 2 games are very close to each other. Heck, I would definitely say they're closer to each other than Raging Blast 1 and 2 are, even though I really like both Raging Blast 1 and 2. But I think Raging Blast 2 is better. And yeah, usually in game series, the latest installment in the franchise will be the best game of the series. But I think with the Dragon Ball Z Budokai Tenkaichi series, it's an exception. But not by a long shot. It is still an exception, though. But yeah, please keep in mind, guys, my opinion can change on this, on which game I prefer. I have gone back and forth between these 2 games before on which game I think is better. I thought 2 was better, but then I played 3, and for a while I thought that was better. But then recently I went back to thinking 2 was better. So yeah, as of right now, 2 wins, 6-5, and that's my opinion. That's my opinion. But yeah, what are you guys? Which video game do you guys prefer between these 2 Dragon Ball games? You can tell me in the comment section down below. And yeah, that's all. Yeah, again, my opinion can change on this. And yeah, that's all for this video, you guys. This is a nice little comparison video that I feel like doing. And yeah, that's all for this video. That's all for this comparison video, you guys. Bye, everyone, and thank you all for watching this video. Alright, let me turn the light off. Let me turn the flashlight off. Oh, and the lighting's bad, but it doesn't matter now because the video is over.